Hey everyone, it's Baze Junkie transmitting from Hamburg, Germany, back with a new video. And well, I got a parcel from the UK and a story to share. So let's get into this directly. And the story is quite a longer one maybe. So a few weeks ago I was tagged on Instagram by Mr. Andrew Lagowski, aka s.e.t.i, in a post that one of his friends did, and he was like, the basic idea was, well, I'm going to Hamburg, Germany, has anybody any recommendations where to go, what to see, where to hang around and stuff. And well, I commented on that post, and turned out that the guy who originally was coming to Hamburg was Daniel Mudford, a longtime friend of Mr. Lagowski basically, and as I've been in touch with Mr. Lagowski for a long time, I kind of thought like, well, his friends are my friends basically, so I recommended a few things, a few like spots for field recording and stuff, and we, Daniel and I started chatting and stuff, and then turned out he's into music, like electronic instrumental music and stuff, and he checked out my album in MACROSPACE and bought it on BANDCAMP basically, digitally, which is not available, so it's only like a 15-minute snippet basically with voiceovers. So I suggested, well, if you're in Hamburg anyway, let's have a coffee, let's have a chat, I'm going to show you around and I'll bring you a cassette tape. And that happened, and turned out we had like a few nice hours in Hamburg, like chatting away. I showed him around, we talked about music and life and basically everything. And Mr. Mudford is a live member of an ambient electronic project that is called Oyuki Conjugate, and has been for a while, has been friends with Lagowski for ages, and then he's also involved into other musical musings, and I had discovered this beforehand because I looked him up on Discogs and stuff, and found out that he's also written a soundtrack of a film that I haven't seen because I haven't been to the movies much since the mid-90s, but I had heard of the film, listened to the soundtrack in at work basically in the vinyl warehouse when all my colleagues were gone and I was doing a late shift. And I think what is in this parcel here, which came from the UK, might be a soundtrack of a film. A lot of you might know, I guess, because as far as I have read, this film is regarded as one of the best British films, basically, in terms of like, I don't know, horror, comedy things, something in between, I guess. So I have to watch this still, but as I said, I've listened to the soundtrack and it's like super interesting stuff, and I loved it at work. So yeah, and we had a proper chat. I brought him the album, my tape album in MACROSPACE. We hung around at the Kiezbecker for a while, had a coffee, then I showed him around St. Pauli, and we went for a stroll through like some of the creative quarters. I shared some of my stories as well, which seemingly made Hamburg and especially the St. Pauli area much more accessible and like likable to Daniel, so which is nice because, well, I'm born here, wasn't always, well, kind of raised here, I wasn't always living here, but came back in '97, so I'm like well, a fully blooded Hamburg guy, I guess. So when there's people around from other places, I definitely love to show them like my view of the city and share stories and stuff. So and Daniel, I guess, went to one spot I recommended him like for field recording. So and hopefully recorded some pretty sustained metallic screeches, which hopefully will end up on his next album. But now let's find out what we got in here, and it looks like vinyl. So we got a beautiful and expertly packed, oh, there's more than one album, expertly packed thing in here, a vinyl thing, and we got cardboard, and there's even more, so super interesting. I am stoked, Daniel. Thank you so much. So what we got here, where to start? Start with this one, because he hadn't told me about this. The Bionics is a CD album here. which is a solo project by Daniel Mudford of Belgium, actually. It's called Sea Otters. Interesting. We got s.e.t.i here. We got, I guess, 4 tracks, which are interestingly named B125, C113, D108, E115 and G120 plus. Is that BPM counts, Mr. Mudford? I probably think so. Bionics Play Art Odyssey Sequential Circus Pro 1, Arturia Mini Freak Roland SP404 MK2, Korg Volca Beats, Lyra 8 Moog Ring Modulator and Sonic DP4 recorded live, and also contains a sample of a thing by Nurse with Wounds. So industrial references here. Released on tender storage. Super beautiful. Like, just from the looks of it, I think this might be some ambient related stuff, but I might be totally mistaken. So I'm going to dig into this. And there's another album by the Bionics, which is called Astro Mambo, which is in this interesting foil here. So this might be a reference to Mr. Mudford's dog he's featuring on his Instagram heavily, I guess. This is interesting stuff. Just the artwork itself is somewhat 90s, somewhat like action loaded, somewhat space oriented, so I don't have any idea what to expect from this exactly. This doesn't look like ambient, this looks more like more active. If it was the 90s, I would say this is big beat. I might be totally mistaken, but just from the artwork and from the energy alone. Also recorded in October and November 2025, so just a year old. 7 tracks on here: Launchpad, Sally Ride, Valentina Tereshkova. That's a name I've heard. Probably is this space-oriented, Russian astronaut, spacefarer. Helen Sharman, Hyaki Mukai, Mae Jemison and Bone Planet. Interesting. So this is probably conceptual space stuff. So I'm gonna dig into this as well. And we got a beautifully heavy vinyl disc, which is the soundtrack for a film that might be familiar, SHAUN of the Dead, which Mr. Daniel Mudford happened to write and compose. Sits in this beautiful shrink wrap. And as I've read, there are many variants and variations of this vinyl. So this is the original score, written and composed by Mr. Daniel Mudford and Pete Woodhead on 180 gram vinyl. On the label that is called Mondo Tees, I guess. The catalog number is 043. There is a total of 21 tracks on here, so which is a lot for a vinyl album. So let's find out which variation we got, because there is some trickery in there, I guess, and I've read about super interesting things for this vinyl release. So I'm going to remove the foil, even though collectors might hate me for that, but well, there is a thing about collecting and listening to music that is definitely different. And this is a beautiful gatefold, I guess, which with a even more beautiful cover. It looks like this, a lot of zombies in there. And we got vinyl, and we got an inlay as well, which seemingly tells the story of how this came together. And Mr. Pete Woodhead is also, as I've gathered just quickly from a glimpse here, in Ojukee Conjugate, and yeah, that's the whole story of how this came together. Basically, looks super pretty, and we got a this is probably the beer variation. I've wondered about that. So this is the vinyl. I hope you can see this properly, because there is yeah, there's this blobby, like non-translucent mass in the basically in the middle, with the outer circle being more translucent. Mondo Sounds Electro 043, the Shaun of the Dead soundtrack. Looks like this. This is an absolutely amazing looking piece of artwork and vinyl. So this is like I love this, and we'll dig into this tonight, like in terms of listening to that. And yeah, Mr. Mudford, thank you very much. I'm gonna send you a parcel as well throughout the next days, because there is a thing that you talked about when we were talking about music and about jungle and about like breakbeats and stuff. I was totally reminded of a thing that we did like a few years ago, so I'm going to send you a parcel as well, so watch out, watch your postbox for that. And I'm going to dig into those Bionic CDs, and probably will review them on my website s.e.t.i as well. So the Bionics, another project by Daniel Mudford out of the UK. So surprising, interesting electronic music stuff, which I love and which I love to write about, definitely. So thank you very much. I'm out, gonna go into editing mode in a bit and upload this video, and we'll send you the link to the video and to the reviews I'm gonna write for those 2 new CD albums as well. So, and watch your postbox. Baze Junkiii out for now. See you in the next one.